There are two things that can help make a sport popular: dynasties and rivalries. Horse racing is immune from dynasties because the sport is built mostly around breeding, which is where the money is. But after Saturday's 157th running of the $2 million Belmont Stakes, it certainly has a rivalry, if only for 1 year. The winners of the Kentucky Derby and Preakness Stakes hooked up in a much-anticipated rematch of the Kentucky Derby with the same result. Sovereignty running down journalism in deep stretch to etch his name in history as the 52nd winner of 2 legs of the Triple Crown. Sovereignty's 3-length win leaves a lot of people asking, what if Sovereignty had run in the 2nd leg of the Triple Crown, the Preakness, and won? He would have been the 14th winner of the Triple Crown, although with an asterisk. Both the Kentucky Derby and Belmont Stakes were run at 1¼ miles because Belmont Park is undergoing a rebuilding project, forcing the race to move to Saratoga Racecourse in Saratoga Springs, NY. The New York Racing ASSN opted to run the Belmont at 1¼ miles instead of the usual 1½ miles, so the race wouldn't start on a turn. But that technicality didn't dampen the spirits of Sovereignty's trainer, Bill Mott, after the race. I think there are 3 really good horses, and I'm glad he was able to come back and put in a race like he did in the Derby, Mott said. If we wouldn't have won today, we would have taken a lot of criticism, but it turned out good. Sometimes you make the right decision, and a lot of times you make the wrong ones. But today, it really worked out well. Mott and the Colts owner, Godolphin, decided that running in Belmont was the better move. It allowed journalism, second in the Derby, to run and win the Preakness in a race for the ages, where he bulled his way through horses at the top of the stretch and ate up incredible ground in the final furlong to win by half a length. And a rivalry was born. Sovereignty was the first horse to intentionally skip the Preakness after winning the Derby and then come back and win the Belmont. It was the first time in the last 22 Triple Crown races that there was a repeat Triple Crown race winner, a streak going back to Justify in 2018. The Triple Crown is restricted to 3-year-olds, meaning a horse only gets 1 year to compete in those races. The race ran pretty much to form, with Rodriguez going immediately to the front with Crudo close by as they headed into the first turn. But as the horses went down the backstretch, journalism started to get engaged with Sovereignty close by. Entering the home stretch, journalism poked his head in front as Rodriguez started to slow. Sovereignty was working his way to the outside of journalism, and with 200 yards to go, moved swiftly to the front and won easily. The top 3 finishers were exactly the same as the Derby, with Beza finishing 3rd. He was followed by Rodriguez, Hill Road, Heart of Honor, Uncaged, and Crudo. Journalism, Baeza, and Rodriguez are all currently based at Santa Anita. Sovereignty paid $7,000 to win. After the race, winning jockey Junior Alvarado and Umberto Rispoli, who rode journalism, embraced while atop their horses. "It's about 2 great horses," Alvarado said. "Journalism ran amazing again for coming back after the Preakness. He fought very hard, but he didn't make it easy for my horse. It's unreal, to be honest. There was a point in my career, I think probably 4 or 5 years ago, when I kind of saw everything fading away, to be honest. And now, here I am. It's unbelievable." It was Alvarado's first Belmont Stakes win. It was also his first Kentucky Derby win, although he was fined $62,000 and suspended 2 days for using his riding crop 8 times on Sovereignty, 2 over the allowable number. The race was run on what was labeled either fast or good after rain pelted the track all morning. It even resulted the postponing until Sunday of 2 Grade 1 turf races for safety reasons. The track and Equibase, the official statistician of racing, do not have to agree on the quality of track surfaces. Look, anytime good horses get space in between their races, they are very, very dangerous, said journalism's trainer Michael McCarthy. Sovereignty is a very good horse. He trains up here. He's been up here for a while. He's in his backyard. Let's hope everybody stays happy and healthy, and we'll see him in Del Mar, hopefully in November, in our backyard. I can't say enough good things about that horse or about my horse. It has been a fantastic experience for me and my guys. McCarthy did not rule out running in the Travers at Saratoga later this summer. Journalism appeared to have stumbled coming out of the gate, but Rispoli dismissed it as a reason for the loss. It was a perfect trip, Rispoli said. I was lucky to be on the outside today to take the chance. I would say he had a little bit of a stumble coming out of the gate, but I don't think it would have been an excuse that affected anything. I had a good trip. I was running down the lane. Junior Alvarado was just coming by, easing past, so the only thing I can say is probably the freshness. Journalism, is a warrior. He ran in 3 legs. Sovereignty ran in 1 and had 5 weeks to recover. But that's no excuse. Obviously, I would say the fresh horse won, but he's a great horse. He beat me already. He beat me twice. The rivalry may not be affirmed an Alida or Dodgers Yankees or Lakers Celtics, but it's the best horse racing has had to offer in a few years, and that's something to take note of.